Good morning, Mark.
Graham, how are you?
Fantastic to be on this call with you.
Thank you so much. I very much appreciate you. Um,
Absolutely.
I was gonna put a different camera on, but I have so much going on today.
No
Uh,
worries at all. Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch my short little video? It tells you who I am.
of course, it's the first thing I did, and I even wrote a comment and subscribed.
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love your amazing story. I think that truly every successful person has this incredible story of ups and downs, and just making a lot of money is nothing. It's losing it and getting it back. It's the resilience
Right.
that that shows whether a person has truly made it or not. And you've obviously got that.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah, it's not easy. It took me 8 years of licking my wounds, as it were. When you lose everything, it's really tough. But yeah, eventually it gets back up. I shouldn't have spent that long licking my wounds, as it were, but life is, we learn, and we grow. That's why I wrote this little book, Cautionary Tales from Real Estate Investments. Whole
I'm gonna
book,
get that. I'm definitely getting it. So
yeah,
I think my story is even more dramatic, but I don't want to get into it now.
I
And
do. I want to hear your story. I want to get to know you, Mark, because that way we can help each other. You can always book as many calls with me as you like, and I'd also encourage you to join my YouTube channel, which is designed to grow a community where we're looking at large multifamilies, reaching our financial goals, in a realistic time period, and going from there. So,
I
did
have
you?
subscribed, Graham, and I've seen
Okay.
that you've got two new videos today that I don't know if you just posted them or if YouTube just recommended them. I'll get into them this evening.
Very good.
Um,
All right. That's
absolutely.
wonderful, Mark. Yeah, well, I'm thrilled to meet you. So tell us a little bit about your story and how I can help you.
It's a very long story. I'll try to get it under 2 minutes. So I am 43 years old. I currently live in New York with my 10-year-old son, Nicola. I'm
Okay.
a single father.
Okay.
I'm a self-made millionaire. I made my first million in 2013. And from there, I became a serial entrepreneur. I opened up about 8 companies.
Oh, wow.
90% of them were successful,
Mm.
basically, bringing me into the green in year one. Then I lost my vision, my health. I went into deep depression. I was clinically blind,
Oh,
started
wow.
drinking a lot, and little by little, approximately over the same amount as you, over 8 years, I lost everything.
Mm.
And then I got into the process of rebuilding. Thank God this new technology came out called scleral lenses. So now I got some of my vision back.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. That's so
Yeah,
precious, isn't it, our vision, really? Because I've got that. I got the highest prescription lenses you can get. And so I really know how much vision is important. Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was a man anymore once I couldn't see. I had two corneal transplants.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah. And so it gets worse and better. We were we're American citizens, but for the last 12 years, we were living on the border of Ukraine and Russia.
Mm.
And last June, I had to contact the State Department and they had to do an emergency evacuation. They had to get us out of there. So we had 48 hours to pack,
Wow.
and I left behind houses, businesses, dogs, everything.
Oh, wow.
In fact, to get out of Russia, we had to make it look like we were just going to vacation to Armenia. So we packed very light.
Mm.
And once we got out of Russia, we just felt safe. And so, they helped us get back to America. But I came here with 30 euros in my pocket. I didn't even have enough money to call a taxi to go to
Oh,
a family's house. And
wow.
at this point, I'm 42 years old. It's not a good look. And what I've done once coming back stateside is absolutely tremendous. I'm not bragging, but I opened up my own company, rebuilt my credit from scratch, got a 711 FICO, bought a beautiful car, opened a logistics company. I'm making $150,000 a year. and now I opened up a real estate investment company. This is all in under 12 months.
Very good. Congratulations, Mark. That's a success story, you know? That really is. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
I'm not
Definitely
bragging,
need
by the
to,
way. I'm just so proud. You know, a lot of
yeah,
people don't do in their entire life what I've done in 12 months.
right, right. Absolutely. It's because you got the fire in your belly, you know, and you've got to do, and you know,
That's it.
I think is it Grant Cardone or one of them anyway says you got to start from zero every day, you know, to grow. You have to have that mentality that you're at zero.
Yeah. So I see real estate as being the way because I already have that experience back in Russia. I did a lot of real estate, a lot of very out of the box creative stuff that, it was pretty impressive.
Hmm.
But, that's all behind. I have zero access to my houses, to my money, and I don't care. I started from scratch. My kid is my motivation. So what brings us here is I'm obviously going to be building out my own portfolio via creative finance
Hmm.
because I don't have 2 years of tax returns. I cannot do it traditional. And that's actually a blessing because that's not scalable.
Yes,
You can't do more than 10 mortgages.
exactly.
So it's not a curse,
Oh, I
it's a blessing.
started, as you saw from the video, you know, I was fresh from England, so didn't have a credit system or anything, and my money was tied up in England, right? You know, so my first deal, as you may recall, was no money out of my pocket. It was seller carry back, and I got cash at closing to fix it up. So
That's incredible.
done, you know.
That is so
Uh,
incredible.
I know, and then I got spared on to the next one, which is a 24 unit. And again, I got somehow got a bank. Okay, they struggled for a while. I remember they said, I don't understand the British credit system and it doesn't translate. And but we're still going to give you a loan after I made this presentation. So it's amazing. So that was first position, and the seller carried the second, you know. And so
Right.
there's very little money again. So it's, you know, you can even do it with banks, which blows my mind, you know.
But
So
can I ask you, for myself, I understand why I lost it, everything. Back after I made my first million, it was just a very deep depression, a lot of drinking. Thank God I got over all of that. But how do you, for example, when you're stateside, if you don't mind me asking, and you have multiple properties, one of them you said was 24 unit?
yeah, I did 24.
How do you how do
uh,
you get how do you get knocked out of that, if you don't mind me asking?
I over leveraged, and there's a lot of sharks in the water, and I go into it in my book. That's why I wrote this book, because there's a whole bunch of mistakes. Small apartments also are not really scalable. So I attempted a number of times to uh, have them professionally managed, but there isn't a sufficient cash flow. And so you employ management companies that are not the top, and you get what you pay for, and they steal from you. And so I still ended up having to run the show myself, and that's always a mistake as well, because you reach a ceiling, and I could go on and on and on. That's why I wrote
So
the
so
book.
basically you didn't have a stream of revenue that could service the debt during the downs of the ride, right?
Yeah, and I was the studios, one bedrooms. It's the bottom of the market, so you got bad tenants. You're throwing them out every week. I was in court, throwing somebody out, and it takes numerous attempts with Tennessee, the landlord tenant act. It's just in favor of the tenant. You have professional tenants who work the system, and so it destroys your cash flow and so on and so on. You know, it's a whole list of issues. Uh, and as I say, that's why I wrote the book, because I want people to know, you know, the dangers of real estate investing, what to look out for. Um, it's I've since learned if you do small multifamilies, you really need to be in a syndicate with other small family apartment owners. You can form a club, as it were, and then you can scale it with management in that way. to get the
Right.
better ones, you know. So there's a number of ways you can get around these issues that I didn't know at the time.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to pick up the book. So I don't know if you read the message that I wrote to you on the booking of this call.
Yes, yes. There you have a multifamily deal, and you want help underwriting it. Yeah,
I mean, I'm so, I don't know what the word is. I'm humbled by the opportunity and the trust that is bestowed upon me by my partners who I met at the Squad Up Summit in Orlando. Um, but I certainly feel that I am so over my head. I don't know how to underwrite this. I don't know how to market it. I know that people like Pace, Jerry Norton, Jamil, Abraham, Duran from Pennsylvania. I know that these big players, if they saw this in the right light, if it was presented to them correctly, this
yeah.
would be a no-brainer.
Right, right. Let me give you a nice a video to watch. Let's see. Good morning, this is Graham Norris. It's not that today one. It's the 24th of August, 2024. And today let me find it. There it is. There's a really neat, and it's only 5 minutes, but this will help you give it a general overview. What to look for in the 5 benefits achieve. I'll see. Oh, I'll put it somewhere. I'll find it now. I did a nice. Oh, I know where it is. Hang on, hang on.
Yep.
Yeah, I put it. It was a little meeting I had with my business partner the other day, and I was explaining how to underwrite it with him. So let's see. There it is. This is deals that come across our desk. Right. Let me put that in the chat for you. So what's that video? It gives you a nice easy way of initial underwriting, and it saves a lot of time as well. It's really quite an easy way of doing it.
I'm assuming it uses a very complicated calculator for cap rate and NOI and everything, right?
Yeah, but you can get that from the OM. You see the if you got just the basic figures, you can do it, and they really do it quick. So take a look at that. If you're still stuck, then book a call with me, and I'll be delighted to go over it with you. But I think you'll find that that's amazingly easy. It cuts through all the complication because you're confronted with pages of figures and things. And you think, how on earth do I do this? Right. Well,
Right.
this boils it down to really simple.
It's just that my partners, they themselves have multiple strategies of how they want to do this. You see, it's a vacant property. It's 114 units. There's also 9 acres of land.
I wouldn't recommend you do that.
I'm sorry?
I wouldn't recommend you do that deal. I wouldn't recommend it. Not
What do you mean?
redevelopment because there's too much capital deployed with very risky.
No, so the building that's so okay, let's start over. Maybe I'm not explaining right. So there's 9 acres of land that is MPD, means you can do whatever you want with it. So the reason I bring that up, meaning it can be sold to repay the lender, right? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a lender to get this over the finish line. They have opened escrow $25,000 in. It's a $2.8 million deal that's seller financed. So payments are deferred for 18 months after closing, which means we have no holding costs. We already have 4 tenants in place, 2 churches and 2 guys that are using the kitchen. So this huge building was a former assisted living facility, but the owners are in their late 80s and they want nothing to do with this because after COVID, they had to shut down. So the building, it needs repairs. It needs a new roof. And they were thinking to do several things, to do assisted living, because that opens up the doors for city, state, and federal grants. They're also wanting to do independent living and rehab for veterans.
Mm.
So there's the exit of selling the 9 acres to repay the lender. There's obviously the refi. There's also a standalone house on the property. It needs a little TLC. ARV is roughly 450. So they're really just needing the million to close this. It is going money to the seller and the acquisition fee. And then once the property is under their name, they're instantly going to apply for the grants. They already have a person who's going to do it for them. They're also going to apply for an SBA loan. But you didn't hear any of that, and you already said don't do the deal. I'm wondering why.
Because it's unquantifiable. It's hard for an investor to see the return. It's lots of steps to get to the money. Whereas large multifamilies, you've got all the numbers in front of you. You can do the pro forma and look into the future. It's a lot more scientific than hoping things will work out.
Right, but let's run the numbers. So
Okay.
$1 million gets the property in their name because the sellers only need 600 for the property to be in our name. Then for 18 months we have 0 payments. We actually have money coming in from the 4 renters.
Yeah.
So we're applying for the grants, which can't be used to repay the lender, but now we have 9 acres that we can fire sale, pay off the sellers and the lender.
Okay.
And we still have a standalone house, and we still have a building with 114 units.
Okay. So it sounds like you're saying that it's a
I'm
good
so
deal.
I'm so sorry. One of my neighbors is knocking on the door. I'm so sorry. One second.
No worries.
I'm so sorry about that.
No worries. No worries. Yeah, it sounds like you're sold on the deal. I'm not in redevelopment, as I say. So large multifamily is where you can clearly see the figures, you can easily underwrite it, and you know what value add you're going to add to the project to bring it to effectively double the worth of the building. So pretty much like I did on my 24 unit, where I took it over from an old person, as it were. They carried the seconds, as I've outlined. The rents haven't been raised for years, so raise the rents, it raises the value of the building. And then you can refinance and pull the money out. It's called leverage, to put into other projects. So that's kind of the pattern. With this one, it sounds like there's a lot of development to be done, which is a lot of capital, right? You've got the on ramp. You can fire sale the lands. Okay, that covers that. You don't need to make payments for 18 months, and you have some income coming in. Is that going to be enough to pay the note to the sellers each month? And if not, how are you going to meet that? How much you're going to pay after 18 months? Because you're going to be making payments after 18 months. Is that right?
Right.
Right. So what's he going to be able to achieve in those 18 months? You're going to sell the land?
Well, their initial play is to go after the grants and the SBA loan
Right.
right out of the gate. The reasoning behind that is that 18-month runway that we have,
Yeah.
we can do phases of construction. So the grant money can only be used for construction.
Right.
We need less than 5 million, but we're going to get more than 5 million for construction. Their idea is as soon as they do like the first floor, the second floor, they can refi. But your question is on month 18. They have to start making payments. Do we
Right.
have enough money coming in to pay them? I don't think so. That's why the land can simply be sold, the 9 acres, and we don't need to make any payments. We just get rid of the sellers. We pay them in full and the lender.
Yeah. All right. So you got your answer. It sounds like you've got the plan laid down, to do the project. So
Um,
what's you struggling with then? What's your question?
I Well, there's so many moving parts. I thought I need to make a very complicated underwriting presentation. I mean,
To
even when I
investors, you're saying you've got the land, the money from the land to pay off the sellers in one move. You're getting the grants to rebuild it, make build, right? Is
right,
that right? And then you'd rent it out,
right.
right? And then once you got some income flowing, then you can do figures. You can't do that until you got the money flowing, right? And then you can do the presentation. Are you looking to get private capital instead of the grant money, or I don't understand. So is the grant money not going to be sufficient to complete the project?
No, we believe that the grant money will be more than we need for the
Okay.
construction.
So you don't need to do any underwriting then, because you'll have
But
sufficient
there's
cash
no
on the money.
guarantees. I'm looking at it from a very sober view. There's no
Mhm.
guarantee we're going to get the grant. We're just being optimistic that we can,
Okay.
because there's a neighboring building that
Yeah.
did the exact same thing. They have 99% occupancy. They have a
Right.
10-month waiting list.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
so
my response for that would be if you don't get the grant, well, there's two things. Is you don't do the grant right, so it's a technical issue. But if they are denying it, um, why would an investor want to do it? Tie up the money while you're redeveloping it. What's in it for them?
No, what I was saying is I was simply laying out what their play is, their what options they have, right? So it's the grant, the SBA loan,
Yeah,
and I'm also thinking that none of that is guaranteed. The grant is not guaranteed, the SBA loan is not guaranteed,
right.
but the money of the lender or the partner, because they were willing to offer for the lender to have an option to essentially get the security, which is like 25% of the company, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah,
The point is, how does the lender get their money back? Well, we have the option to just sell the land, as I
yeah.
said before.
Right. If I were you, a cheat code is apply for a construction loan with the bank and see what they say. Um, that way you'll find out what the higher level response will be to the overall project, So if they deny it, find out why they're denying it and what are their thoughts, get into their mindset, and that will help you present to any investors in the
We
project.
can't apply for, I could be wrong, but we can't apply for anything because until we close on escrow, until we
Right,
give the seller $600,000,
right.
all of this property is not technically ours.
That's right. Yes, you have to close on it. Absolutely. You have to have an
So we just need to get to that finish line so that all the other doors open up.
Yes, indeed. So you haven't gotten a contract yet.
No, the property is under contract. We
It's
opened
under
escrow,
contract.
put up $25,000.
Okay.
We have until the end of next month to close on escrow.
Okay.
If we ask for an extension, they're asking for an additional $10,000. We don't want to do that.
Right. Okay. Good. Well, you've got control. So um you've got
Yeah,
a
the deal can't be taken away from us, right?
yes, that's good. Well, that's important. You've got control. So you should be able to explore your options.
So I reached out to the community with the hopes initially of somebody helping me underwrite this and then market it, or at least underwrite it, because I believe if I go to the top to Pace to Jerry, with a bare ass, I'm sorry for my French, without a solid presentation and just explain it the way I'm explaining to you, they're gonna laugh at me. They're gonna say no. So if you cannot help me underwrite it, do you know somebody who can? Because I mean, just on minute two of our conversation, you were like, walk away, forget it, the deal's no good. And I'm afraid to hear that from everybody.
Yeah, I don't. It's a redevelopment project. If I were you, I'd talk to some builders and get their take on it. How do they get redevelopment. It's a redevelopment project, you see. So
Mhm.
it's a different game. It's a different niche. I don't play in that sandbox, you see. So I don't really come across those
Okay.
redevelopment projects. Like I've got something right now in town that I look at it. It was a hotel. It was a just short of 200 rooms. So they want to convert it into student housing. And I made some inquiries, and it's going to take $2 million to renovate the place. And I have no idea how to do that, you know. So because it's redevelopment, how to present it. Obviously, there is investors out there who are interested in redevelopment. They understand it. So
Sure. Look, there's a buyer and an investor for everything.
yeah,
It's
that's
just
right.
about
So
it's just
really,
about
what I'm
getting in front of
saying.
the right people. That's it.
Right, exactly. You got to find somebody in that niche, you know. So I will put on the Facebook group looking for redevelopment experts, you know,
Okay.
and
Okay. So
go from there.
I mistitled my post essentially. I don't know if you saw my post.
What was the post?
I'll one second. So while I'm looking for that, I wanted to ask you something else. Besides this huge project, on with regards to what I'm doing, I ran into a little bit of trouble. Maybe you can give me some advice. So I have been finding amazing sub two deals,
Yeah,
and as soon as I start looking for PMLs, the kinds that Pace and Kevin Cho have, essentially PMLs who give terms of 12 months or more, I hit a brick wall. Apparently, the 10,000 PM private money lenders in our community don't want to go over 6 months. And I don't know if it's because I'm new to this or what it
no,
is.
get that's Gators. You're talking to Gators, and Gators are 12 months or less. So if you're looking for longer than 12 months, yeah, you're truly looking for PMLs. Um,
Well, I mean, even 12 months is enough runway. But
yeah.
everybody I've spoken to so far, they're capping me at 6, and that's just not enough room to maneuver. Could you perhaps introduce me to somebody or
Jason
something?
Park will be good to talk to. Jason Park
Yes.
on Facebook, he's well known. Talk to him
I
about that, and he might be able to talk to you about this redevelopment deal as well.
Well, I'm actually back and forth with him, just between us. The thing that I mean, I can understand him, but the thing that kind of put me off was he was like, email me all the information, and I said, Mr. Park, can we just get on a 2 minute call first? He's like, no, if the numbers don't make sense, I'm not getting on a call with you. So he was kind of brash.
Mm.
I'm not really used to people speaking to me like that. I mean, I have a pile of documents regarding this deal in Kansas. So, I mean, I need help underwriting. Just sending all these docs, that's not really the numbers. So, I
Yeah,
mean, I understand he's the
it
right
is
guy, but
hard. It is hard, Mark, with the redevelopment project. As I say, I'm really not the one, and Jason is very busy, and of course,
right.
if he
So,
was to do that, you should pay him as well because it is quite a task to underwrite something like that.
how much do you think it would cost?
About 1,500.
1,500.
Yeah,
Okay. So then I need to do two things. I need to redo my post and label it as redevelopment and offer money for somebody to help me underwrite it. That way I'm paying one time to learn how to underwrite complicated deals.
yeah, yeah, and you'll learn a lot. It'll be great. It'll be a great journey because there's so much opportunity of redevelopment out there. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, it's a good niche to be in for sure. It's just not my niche.
Sure. I didn't know it was going to be mine either.
Yeah, okay, yes, that's right. But this could be your guidance, you know, into what you um can specialize in. It's a good thing learning all this new stuff, you know. So
But let me ask you with regards to, so I want to start out with single family and I don't want to do too many, maybe two, three, and then I'm going to move up to multifamily up to 4 units. So I do need people that can help me cover the entry fee because obviously I'm going to run out of my own money after deal number one.
Yeah.
And besides Jason Park, do you know anybody who can give me terms of 12 months or more? Or at least 12 months?
No, because gators are 12 months or less.
Right, but I mean, I'll take 12 months. It's just I haven't met any gators who are willing to talk about doing 12 months.
Right, right. It's a long time for a gator because the gator is really in and out. It's a chomp chomp, you know. So um, just got a network, I guess. But I don't know longer than. See, the PMLs in my world for longer is a large multifamily, so you're a limited partner, and that's how that works, you know. So it's a different uh, thing when you go over 12 months. Yeah.
I don't know if I caught all that.
It's a different mindset when it comes to 12 months or more. When it comes to PML, you're looking for what Pace calls a whale mindset. Do you know when they came across those different mindsets? So you're looking for somebody who wants to deploy their money long term, and they don't care as long as they get the return, right? So where Gators mindset is they're trying to build up their cash. They want a short-term deal and build up their cash pile. Pretty much what you want to do, actually. You want to reestablish your cash, right? And then move on to other things. So it's short term, you see. That's the bulk of the Gator community is short term. And then most of them want 90 days, not even 6 months.
Yeah.
They want
So
EMDs and
double
transaction
closes.
funds. Yeah, that's right. That's
It's sad.
essentially it. And
It's sad because there's not a lot of those. There's not a lot of those deals.
yeah, they're harder to find because we're all swimming in the same water and there's only a
Right.
few fish. So you got to get out into waters that blue ocean. You can't just be swimming in where everybody else is swimming, and that's essentially what's happening. You
And
know,
you think Jason would do small deals like cover a 30 or $40,000 entry fee for 12 months on a
if,
SFR?
if it's a good deal, I mean, any one of us, anyone will do a good deal, but most of them are not good deals.
Well, I had one in
Hmm.
Massachusetts. It's cash flow 700 LTR, 3.875 interest rate. Entry fee was at about 11.2%. It was checking all my boxes.
Hmm.
The only downside, the house was very old. And my investor bailed at literally at the last second,
Hmm.
and the deal was taken by somebody else.
Wow.
But
Well,
I mean, is 700 a month LTR, is that considered a good deal by experts like you?
yeah, that sounds good. But I wouldn't do an old house, you see. I
You
wouldn't.
wouldn't do an old
No,
house.
not 100 years old house. There's so many problems with it.
Yeah, that was the only downside, like the
Yeah.
only thing that I can find.
You'll find that widespread attitude in the community as well. I wouldn't do anything before 1950.
Hmm. I'm gonna remember that. Let
Yeah,
me ask you one last question. Is there any way that you can send me this recording because I feel like there's so many gold nuggets here.
yeah,
Uh, could you?
absolutely. It'll be my YouTube channel as soon as we finish.
Oh, you should have told me. I would have cleaned up the background. Wow.
So you can watch it as many times as you like. Yeah, it's a good idea. And all the other interviews I've had as well, there's a lot of little things to look out for. And why don't we do old houses? Because some of them are historic and the city requires you restore them to their historic value. And trying to get windows that are no longer manufactured, for instance, that may add a month or two to your timeline, increasing your holding costs. It destroys the figures.
I hope you're gonna edit the part when my neighbor was banging on the door.
There's no editing. Nobody watches these anyway. Only a few people watch them. So it's to help me and to build up the community. So that's why I do it. You'll see them. 5 views here, 3 views there. They're not hundreds of views or thousands of views. You got no worries. This is totally boring to most people talking about real estate on the internet. So only people who are genuinely interested watch these. Yeah.
Well, my name is Klinkov Mark, and that's how all my social media starts. I actually launched my YouTube channel 3 weeks ago.
Oh, very good. Good job.
So to whoever's watching this video, find me, Klinkov_Mark on
There we
YouTube.
go. Promote yourself. That's the way to go. Yeah, yeah,
And when I
absolutely.
see this video, I'll also put in the comments links to my other social media. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
if
put in
anybody
your, you
wants
can
to
put in your
do,
blink card, I think. That would be a good idea. Have
yeah,
all your contact information. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I've got a blink card, sure.
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time. I've really enjoyed talking to you, Mark. I hope I haven't hurt you in any way. We all have our buy boxes, so but I hope you
No, this was amazing. Thank you so much for your time and your insight.
yeah,
Absolutely priceless.
yeah, I hope so. I hope I've helped you. It's as I
I'm
say,
definitely gonna get your book, and
okay. I mean,
next time a great deal comes across my desk, I'm gonna call you.
yeah, let me give you the link to the Amazon the book then. There we go. And if you do get the book and you read it, book another call with me because we can go over the examples because you're bound to have a few questions. It's only a short book. It'll only take you an hour to read it. It's 26 pages. So it's not a
Yeah,
big book, but it does have those gems in. And I don't expand very much in the book. Well, I do expand a little bit, but I can expand more, one to one on the call.
it's gonna be on my bookcase next to Pace's book right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, wealth without cash. Yeah, very good. That'd be great. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. I really enjoyed talking to you. Have a wonderful
Likewise,
day.
the pleasure was all mine. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you, Mark. Bye bye.